Can I turn to Europe, which is a battle that David Cameron is having at the moment? He wants to reform Britain's relationship with Europe and then have an in-out referendum. You said that when you heard his speech, 90% of it resonated with you, and you agreed with 90% of David Cameron's speech on Europe. What about the in-out referendum? Wouldn't that be a way of solving things once and for all, drawing a line under it?
Well, it's not a way of solving things. I mean, look, if the case is why should Europe reform, I mean, I'm 100% with them, and that's the case be made by British Prime Ministers, Margaret Thatcher, John Major, myself, Gordon Brown, everyone. And it's absolutely right. And by the way, step by step, there have been significant reforms in Europe as a result of that. So where it's about should Europe reform, I'm 100% with them, actually. It's where you say, but if it doesn't, then we want out. That is to put the out question on the ballot paper. I mean, first of all, it creates, I mean, we're now in an uncertain situation. I mean, everywhere I go, people say to me, is Britain really going to get out of Europe? You can't answer that question conclusively now. And secondly, the fact is, the overwhelming likelihood is that what will happen is he will try to get certain changes in Europe. He may get some changes in Europe.
He'll only get them by saying there's going to be a referendum if you do it, surely.
I'm not sure about that, because remember, other countries in Europe also have their politics. See, if you're talking about reforming Europe, you're talking about the interests of 27. If you're saying this is about Britain's relationship with Europe, it's 1 versus 26. So you better make sure that they're all lined up behind that, because if they're not, and any one of them say no, I mean, I can't really believe David Cameron thinks it's sensible to get out of Europe, even if he doesn't achieve all of that agenda. You see what I mean? So you're in a situation where, look, obviously it depends if he gets re-elected, but you're in a situation where 4 or 5 years down the line, until then there's uncertainty, and at that point, you know, who knows what might happen. And if Britain did vote to go out, I think it would be a huge problem for our country, because the thing to realise about Europe today is the rationale for Europe is not about peace. That was for my father's generation. The rationale for Europe today is power. You know, in a world of China with 1.3 billion people and India with over 1 billion, and increasingly because of mobile capital and technology, you know, the weight of your country's economy is linked to your population. So in time to come, Britain, 60 million people, as you know, a small island nation, if we want to exercise weight and influence and power in the world, why would we separate ourselves from the biggest political union and largest business market right in our doorstep?